Video games! Speaking of Wolverine...
Actually, we were just speaking of Star Trek.
Oh, we landed on a good note.
Did the, yeah.
Well, let's start on another good note. Let's start on an uncertain note, because here we have the X-Men Origins Wolverine video game, which is a third-person action game from Raven Software. And, you know, the history of video games, history of superhero video games is not marked with a lot of high notes.
Yeah, Superman.
Many bad titles. And not only that, the history of licensed movie property video games is not littered with a lot of high notes.
This was an interesting pool to go wading in.
Third point is games that are released day and date as the film. Not always a good sign, because that means they're locked into that date really, really early, and they don't, you know, a game can't be pushed if it's going to come out day and date of the film. So a lot of factors leading up to what should, by all accounts, be a pretty crappy game. But Raven Software, pretty decent video game company, video game producing company, and they've done a lot of really awesome games. Been around a long, long time. Quake 4, Soldier of Fortune, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Good game, you know, decent games. Good games. So, all that being said, what is the verdict? Alex, did you dig X-Men Origins Wolverine? We played it on the 360.
Good to use the proper title. I will say I was utterly shocked at how much fun this game was to play for me. I really can't explain how much fun I had playing this game.
I'm going to agree with you.
Good.
X gets a square.
I like it. This is good.
We'll see if we've made tic-tac-toe.
All right, so 2 X's. Oh. So yeah, dude. First off, Unreal Engine, the new Unreal Engine, which I think is great, chugged a couple points.
Really?
Yeah, for me, there were a couple things. I think I got a little too creative with my killing. There were a couple times I was like, no, you're lunging too far fast. This game just makes you feel, which is very hard to do, like you are the character of Wolverine.
Well, like you're the most powerful dude on the screen.
Bro,
right?
You just feel like when people come into the screen, it's just, oh good, some things for me to do cool things with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There was this system, I mean, I know everybody plays differently, and it has some great, like, leveling mechanics and some really, actually quite deep customization stuff that I was pretty impressed with. But I don't know how you guys played, but I was all about the lunging at people thing.
Kind of hard to not do.
Because that is so freaking satisfying. I mean, I was like lunging, stabbing, and then things happen in slow motion, and I'm like, this guy's blood is on my hands, and the ghost guy's like sucking.
We should say, even though the movie is very PG-13, the game is not. It's very M-rated.
Yes.
Decapitations, arms being cut off, gore and blood everywhere.
So I had
Which is an interesting choice.
Blast. It's a great choice. That's why I had so much fun. So I had a blast.
Daniel for the block.
A couple weeks ago, we talked about our favorite movie games or whatever.
Okay.
And I said Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Because Spider-Man 2 makes you feel like
you're Spider-Man.
You are Spider-Man. For the first time, you get the feeling that you are swinging around the city. This game does the exact same boop, boop thing. It is
how crazy is this game?
This game blew me away.
Yeah.
First of all, that you can feel like Wolverine, and which is just, I just also replayed Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. The key, which makes you feel like the character Riddick. That is the key to any video game, is really making the player feel like what he's playing.
Right.
And as you said, most powerful guy on screen.
Yeah.
The graphics, when the damage that your body takes shows up
Now, I want
on
to
your
speak to
body.
that. I want to speak to that because I got to see this game early at GDC with the developers right there, and they made a big point to say what they actually did is model 3 layers of textures on the character all the time. So when you're getting attacked, it strips down through layers of muscle to layers of bone, And then it has a real-time health regen healing factor, Wolverine's healing factor, so it grows back gradually over time.
And guys, you see it.
Yeah,
you see it. And your slashes on things, objects. You see your slashes on the object. It's great. I mean, it just adds to the immersion. Also, do not go see Wolverine this weekend. Play this game.
Better story.
Yeah.
Far better story.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Far better, the most clever action sequences. He did things that, why have I not seen Wolverine do? It's a hard R, hard. Yeah. But I will just tell you, there's a moment where you stick both your hands into a body, lift it up over your head, and go like this, splitting the body in half.
Yes.
That is just the tippy top of the iceberg of what happens in this game.
A lot of badassery.
Incredible game.
Yeah, and you obviously feel the same way.
I really enjoyed it too. And it's weird because I'm seeing the early reviews come out, and they're like 5s and 6s out of 10. What? And I don't understand what's going on.
They're just like, we don't like movie games, so.
I don't understand. I
prejudge.
I found this game to be so much fun. I did not want to stop playing it. And I played for like 8 hours at a stretch, and I didn't want to stop. Usually I get fatigued, but you're right. There's so much creativity in you have so many options of how to attack at any given moment, and you continually get new things unlocked as you play, even in the late game. You know, the game it reminded me most of is The Force Unleashed. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Has a very similar upgrade mechanic, and another game where you walk into a room and it's just like, well, now I get to play with all these enemies. And so it felt like that game without the graphic problems.
And you honed in on the upgrade mechanic, the progression. Every great game, you need that progression where you feel like, so it doesn't feel stayed. It doesn't feel the same thing over and over.
I want to pick up too what you said about the story. The way it's told, a bunch of flashbacks, awesome. It weaves in a lot of the movie narrative with a whole new level of narrative that is much more comic booky. You get to fight a Sentinel, and if you're an X-Men fan, it's so badass how you take the Sentinel down.
I didn't get there.
Oh, dude, you have to keep.
I purposely not brought it back, so
it's so amazing.
I know you did because
like you said, there are these set piece. You're doing a lot of different things through the game too, and there are these set piece that are never ever quick time events.
I was just going to say that.
You're always playing. I mean, there's a few like giant button that you need to push, but rarely.
But what they get you to do without it being a quick time event is amazing.
The other thing I will say in closing is that it made me the happiest boy ever because you can unlock the classic yellow and blue Wolverine costume, and you can unlock the brown and tan Wolverine costume and play the whole game through like that, which I did, and it's so awesome. The graphics are done in almost like an Alex Ross, like very realistic, how this costume would really look on a, it's like the happiest day of all.